Hola, hola, soy señora Muñoz. Bienvenidos a la clase de español. Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Muñoz and I am your child's Spanish teacher this year. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and the class so you can get to know what to expect this year from Spanish. So let's get started, okay? Listo? Vámonos. First of all, let's talk a little bit about me. I'm actually from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I moved out here about 2 years ago with my husband. I have a bachelor's degree in education in Spanish from Millersville University, a master's degree in education from Wilkes University. Both those universities are in Pennsylvania. This is my 15th year teaching Spanish, believe it or not. I taught for 13 years in Pennsylvania. I taught 7th and 8th grade Spanish out there, and then we moved out here, and this is my second year at KLA. Here at KLA, I'm the only Spanish teacher, so I teach grades kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. So I teach them all, which is awesome and exciting and very entertaining, never a dull moment. I have a kitty cat here named Ziggy. The kids love him. I bring him up a lot just because he's cute, and the kids are, always want to talk about him because he's adorable and he has these big blue eyes. Some other things about me is I like to travel, so I've traveled all over the world. My husband is from Colombia, South America, so we've gone to Colombia. He's from Cali, Colombia. Big into soccer, of course. We've gone to Peru in South America. I actually had the opportunity of taking a group of students on a 10-day trip to Peru. We went to Lima, Cusco, parts of the Amazon rainforest, and of course Machu Picchu. It was life-changing, amazing. I loved it. It was beautiful. I've also gone over to Europe, and I've traveled to Paris. I've gone to London, Amsterdam, Brussels, all over the place. Some other Spanish-speaking countries I've been to is Mexico, of course. I've been to Mexico. Been to, this is a picture here of Tulum. Gone to see Tulum and Cancun and Ciudad Mexico, Tijuana. I've also traveled to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, all over, up to Canada. It's one of my passions in life is to travel and see the world, so I can't wait till things get better and we can travel again. Something else that I really love, and the kids know because I talk about it a lot, is my love of dance. I love to dance, especially Latin dancing, like cumbia, bachata, merengue, but especially salsa. Salsa is my favorite type of dancing, and I've actually had the opportunity to perform in a few competitions and have won, as you can see in my pictures here. So it's something that I like to introduce to the kids, not just the dancing, but the music as well, because each type of dance has its particular type of music. So we talk about that a lot in class because, let's face it, teenagers listen to their types of music and they probably aren't familiar with all the different types of music that there are in the Latin culture. So we talk about bachata and salsa and reggaeton and cumbia and merengue, and talk about where they're from, what countries did they originate in, and famous singers that perform this type of music. All right, let's get into the class a little bit. Let's talk about my expectations. So I have here no drama llama. That's our kind of class motto. I love llamas. You can kind of see my llamas behind me maybe. So let's talk about my expectations. How are we going to be no drama llamas this year? So first of all, I want you to come to class on time. It's important to come to class on time because in the beginning of class, I post a warm-up, a bell work activity. I call it La Actividad, which are quick questions to get you ready for Spanish class. So you need to come to class on time so that you can access these questions and complete them and get the day's points for them. You need to be wearing your KLA polo shirt to class every day. You need to find a quiet space to learn somewhere in your house, so you're not distracted by other things or people around you. I'd like them to be prepared with a pencil and paper next to you in case they need to jot something down, or if I'm asking them to write something down for me and show me, it's there and they don't need to search all over the house for it. I suggest headphones as well. because within our curriculum, we have a video series that we like to listen to, and it may make it easier if you're listening to it with headphones instead of just, the computer speakers. You'll be able to listen more clearly. And I'm asking students to participate in class, making sure we're answering questions, we're using the target language, and that you're showing me you're excited and you're ready to learn. So what are we going to learn this year? Well, we're going to learn a lot. So we're going to start at the beginning. So our textbook is called Auténtico, and the first unit is called Para Empezar, and it's pretty much a review of basics, okay? So we'll go over personal introductions, colors, numbers, weather, seasons, classroom materials, etc. But then with each unit afterwards, we're going to get into more complex things, especially with the grammar, the Spanish grammar of the language, learning about verbs and the structure of verbs, using the present tense and the past tense, writing sentences using our articles, and using adjectives appropriately, talking about likes and dislikes, describing what yourself and others look like, and many, many, many more topics will be covered this year. We're also going to do some cultural elements because that's very important too when learning a language. It's important to understand the culture of the language. So for example, we just finished a mini unit on all the Spanish-speaking countries and their capitals. So most students aren't aware of all the Spanish-speaking countries in the world. So we looked at all of them. We looked on a map where they're located and what their capitals are, and they did a great job with that unit. In addition to that, each month we'll do a little mini project on a country, and we'll do like a little snapshot of what that country's all about. Who are its famous people, what are famous foods from that country, etc. In addition to that, we'll talk about important holidays or events that are coming up within the Hispanic world, in the Hispanic culture, historical things that are important for students to know as they pop up in different units or different times of the year. We will discuss that as well. All right, how are we going to learn all this? So first of all, we're going to use our textbook, that Auténtico, and within Auténtico is something called Realize. This is the access to the digital textbook. So students will have access to this and they know how to log on to it. And within this, there are assignments, games, quizzes, flashcards, all kinds of things that students will use with each unit as we're studying. There's also a video series, a telenovela, that we'll watch to practice our listening comprehension. And that's all done through the digital textbook and through this link that I post in their Google Classroom. So speaking of Google Classroom, we use that all the time. That's where I post any important information, announcements, due dates, assignments, anything that is important will be posted in Google Classroom. Pear Deck is something that I use as interactive slideshow presentation. So I use that when I am introducing a new unit, a new vocabulary. So it's your typical like PowerPoint or Google slideshow, but it's interactive. Students have to log in and they have to answer questions throughout. So I post questions and I can watch them participate with that. And then after class, I can go and review their answers to see if, number one, did they participate and did they understand, were there questions along the way. So it's important that when we do these, the students are logging into this and that they're answering as I'm going through the presentation. These links over here are just fun websites that we use to help study and review. Quizlet is a flashcard website which students can review vocabulary words with flashcards, games, little mini quizzes, things like that. Gimkit is a super fun game that the kids are really excited for, and I use as a reward at the end of the week. We do Fiesta Fridays, and if we did a good job, we got through everything we needed to, we'll do a Gimkit game or two. And it's just another way of reviewing vocabulary words, but it's way more fun than your typical Kahoot or Quizlet live game. Flipgrid is a website that we use to assess their speaking abilities in Spanish, in which they can film themselves, little like 30-second and 1-minute videos where I ask them a topic to talk about in the language, and they do it. They film themselves. They can put filters, stickers, emojis, whatever they want on it to make it extra exciting, and then they turn it in to me, and then I can view it and assess their understanding of the topic. Could they say, the things I asked them to say in Spanish? Let me move on. I want to show you my Google Classroom before we end. So we talked about Google Classroom. When they log into Google Classroom, this is what they'll see, okay? On the side here are upcoming due dates, what things are due, so it gives them a snapshot of what's due. And this is the stream where any information or announcements are posted, assignments or questions, things like that. Every morning around 7 a.m. I post a message of what we're doing in class today. So in this message, you'll see due dates, what we're doing in class, my office hours, my email address, my outcomes, what we're doing, how we're going to be assessed that day. I also post links to any things that we use during that class period. For example, this one I posted the textbook sign-in and a Google Doc for them to refer to. This will change depending on the class, on what we're doing in class, but this is always posted every day so they can find that information. If you go up here to the classwork, in here is where any assignments will be posted. Anything that's done in the textbook will be under this heading, and all the topics, the headings, are on this side that they can click and access to. Their homework or classwork activities will be put here. Bell work, the activities that they do in the first 5 minutes of class, are posted here. Quizzes and exams are there. When we have projects, they'll be posted there. So again, all of this is found in their classwork, and then they can view their grades, or they can also use Illuminate to view their grades. Speaking of grades, this is how their grading will be done. Okay, and then my syllabus, again, you can find this in Google Classroom. It's important that we attend class because, the more class we miss, the more things you'll miss, and it will affect your learning progress. It's important that when you do miss class that we're making up the work, or you're finding out what to do, or scheduling some time with me during office hours so I can help you get caught up in class. Their grade is determined by these topics. Their citizenship, making sure that we are showing that you are a KLA leader, that you are respectful to people in class. We're not receiving warnings or TSMP cards. You're working on your work and your bell work appropriately in class. You're collaborating, working well with others, and you're demonstrating digital citizenship. Your homework and classwork is worth 35% of your grade. Quizzes and tests are 27%. Projects are 27% as well, in which you'll receive directions and rubrics on how to do those projects. And then participation is 10%. Participation each week, you'll get a participation grade. So it's important that we are answering questions, using the language, participating in those Pear Deck slideshows, because I go back and check to make sure we're doing those things. That all incorporates into your participation grade. So if students or yourself have a question about my grading, please feel free to contact me at any time, and you can review this document at any time as well. It is in Google Classroom. So that pretty much wraps up my presentation here. I'm excited to start the new school year, and I've been getting to know your students, and I'm enjoying everything so far. So hopefully we continue with this. Don't forget, you can email me at any time at rmunoz@mykla.org, and I can answer any of your questions at any time. And remember, any important information is found in Google Classroom. Okay, that's it. Have a great rest of the year, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Adios.